Hi everyone and welcome back. So here we are on the Camunda website and we can download the Camunda modeler and we can install it. So this is the Camunda modeler I have downloaded, and what I will do is, and this is where I am running Camunda. Okay, so Camunda Workflow Engine is up and running and we are using MySQL as a database. And once this is up and running, what you can do is simply you will open the localhost 8080 where the Camunda is running, right? And just pass the demo. I think that will open up your Camunda console. So this is like a web console where you can see all these things: Camunda cockpit, task list, and admin. These are like three major components which drive everything on the Camunda. Okay, now here what we see here is the cockpit, task list, and admin. Now we need to get our Camunda modeler running, because through the Camunda modeler we would be able to create a workflow, and we would be able to deploy the workflow to this Camunda. Okay, so let me just launch it. So here is our Camunda modeler, right? And what we can do is we can start a BPMN diagram. So it gives us all the capabilities to write a simple BPMN diagram. We already have some BPMN diagram. Now we can see all the tools, right? All the navigator tools and all these things. This is my starting. Here I will add a task. This can be your service task or simple test. Okay, this is your starting, and you are connecting with this, and then there is end. So these each and every component has its own meaning. Start create event. Here is a start end event. So we are just ending this, and it's connected to the end event. Now what you are going to do in this, it can be a service task. Here you can choose what you want to do with this particular task. It can be a user task, manual task, service task, script task, call activity, or a sub process. Sub process means you have written a whole big diagram and it is calling another sub process or another call activity, right? This can be a simple service task where you may be calling some external service to do something. Okay, service task is really interesting, which we are going to use a lot, because we are going to have a Camunda client services. Whenever your execution flow will come to this particular service task, we will define the mapping in the Camunda. That Camunda will automatically trigger that endpoint, will get this task done, and it will close it. Currently we don't have it, and here is our property panel where we can define a lot of things. Okay, now how to deploy this? If you are using modeler, you can use this tool to deploy this, and here you can just specify your Camunda engine endpoint. So here from this Camunda modeler, we can just put a deployment name and the rest endpoint. Okay, localhost 8080 engine rest, and we can click on deploy. So deployment succeeded. That means this diagram is now deployed in our Camunda engine. We just enter demo and we should be able to save. We should be able to see what is happening, and we can also see the logs. Everything is fine now, and we can see there are three processes, right? Two processes are predefined, which comes with the Camunda while you bootstrap this, and this is another process which we just deployed. Okay, and you can see the version name, so we didn't put any particular name and all. So this is the deployment ID, and this is your Camunda diagram which has been deployed. This is the process ID, and this is the definition key. I mean, you can give a particular name while deploying it. So this is a simple deployment. Right now what we are actually doing, we are using this Camunda modeler and doing all sort of these things. Okay, here these particular tasks can be as complex as possible, right? It is just a simple example. Here we can use this gateway, this particular task. This is the expanded sub process, database object reference, right? Mostly we use these call activity, sub process, gateway, starts, and these are more than enough to write any workflow, right? And if we just take a look onto this pan, here we can define all these synchronous asynchronous things like service task. If I'm creating for a service task, I have to define the implementation. It is going to be external, right? And the topic name, like test topic. This is the topic for which the external Camunda client will keep listening. We will talk about it, like how to handle these external tasks. This can be doing your asynchronous thing like sending the email over the time. It can be a lot of things can be added here. Parallel activity, currently it's not like this. So here it can be user task, manual task. You can define a business rule task for particular this. And these implementation, if you see, implementations can be a Java class, can be simple expression which it will evaluate and give us the output, or external which will take care of, which will be taken care by some external task. Okay. So this is just a simple BPMN how to deploy this, and we can also play around a little bit on the dashboard. Here we can see three things: cockpit, cockpit, task list, and admin. Right, if I just go to home, I think so. This is admin section. So we have a cockpit, we have a task list, and we have admin dashboard UI. This looks like a bit slow, but yeah, that should be fine. So I mean, Camunda will have a UI console where you can create a multiple users and give your access to the users. Okay, this is the admin user, this is a read-only user. All those things are also configurable. Here we can actually go to cockpit and task list. So this is my cockpit where I can see all the workflows which are defined. Okay, so the two workflow which are already there, we can take a look onto them. So there are 6 human tasks, but most human tasks are from the predefined workflows. Okay, here we can see 3, and we can take a look onto this invoice receipt. Right, this is a predefined one which gets deployed with this BPMN, and here you can see the definition name. This is important, the definition key using which we are going to invoke it in future. This is the version 1. So when you keep deploying these BPMNs one by one, it keeps increasing these versions. Okay, and here now this is a BPMN process, right? So these are the multiple process instance. There are 3 times it has been invoked from externally, and you can actually go inside a one particular one and can see what is happening. So here you can debug a one particular process. It is stuck, not stuck, it is actually stopped at the user task. Right now you click onto this particularly is a user task, and you will manually go and finish this particular user task so it can move further. Okay, because this is a BPM and there are service tasks, user tasks. User tasks are manual, which you have to go to the task list and claim that particular task. Here you can enter a lot of information. Okay, like I'm claiming this with this information. It is coming disabled. Just give me a sec, because it should be something like I click on to the claim and I will complete this, so it will complete this user task for us. Okay, let's see that again. So there are 2 user tasks, you can see. I claim it. Okay, an error, something is going wrong there, leave it. Here we have other task. So I can claim it, like I can just mark this particular task complete. So it will move in the BPMN, and this task will go away from here. I mean, this is how it works. That is just an idea I wanted to give. You can claim a particular task and then you just mark it complete. So user task will be completed. Now we can again go to the cockpit. And from the cockpit, we can also start a particular process, particular workflow. So if I go here and go to my workflow, which we just have deployed, right? Activity instance, you can start, stop all these things. So here you can actually check the deployments which are available, all the 3 deployments. Whenever you deploy the new BPMN, that will be available here. going to the task list. I mean, once you deploy your first BPMN, you can play around with this UI, which gives you all the things. And here we can actually start a process also. And here you need to define which process you wanted to start. Like this is a manual process start. Either there will be external entity from the UI, from the user button click, you will be starting this by accessing the REST API. Here also you can actually start a particular process, business key test. Yeah. So this particular process has been started, and we can just check all the things, all the logs and all are available. Something goes wrong, I think, while executing something, so that is fine. You will see these kind of errors and logs on the BPMN, but this is how it is working, right? So you can manually start a process, can see all the process running in the user list or the cockpit, admin UI. All these features are here. Okay. Thanks everyone. So in the next we will draw something and we will deploy it and we will see what is happening underneath that.